Over there. Don't fall off. Over there. Yeah. Yeah. There. All right. Brown hats. Come on. There's not going to be anybody left in the audience.
He said this was scripted.
Decimating your audience here.
Brown hats. Brown hats. Over there. Yeah, that's you. You're next. Black hats. Come on. If you don't want to do it, give the hat to somebody else. This young woman here with the pink.
How dare I stand in your way, path of glory? There you go.
All right, one on either side. Now, we haven't started yet. Now, when I point to the yellow hats, because remember, this is the 2023 Homage to Australian Capitalism. When I point to the yellow hats, you say consume at the top of your voice.
Consume.
Come on, somebody.
Consume.
And what do you think you're going to say?
Be silent. No,
Defecate. That's why it's brown. Defecate. Come on. You ready? Laugh. Right. And where are the black hats? Over here. Over here, the black hats. And what do you think you're going to say when I point to you?
Something nice.
Die! Because that's the essence of capitalism. We are expected to consume, defecate, and die quietly. Alright? Back. Now the rest of the audience, you're not free. I want the rest of the audience up here. That includes you. Come on with your drink. Come on. Gaz, you too, young lady. Now you can sit down. I've had enough of you yellow caps and black caps and brown caps. Now, I'll be pointing to them and they'll jump up and go consume, defecate and die. Carolyn, where are you?
I'm busy.
Oh, come on. Nobody's busy.
That bloody pint won't drink itself.
Yeah.
Paid for this or no?
No. You may get paid in garlic if you like it. Right? Now, when I point to them and they jump up, and when they're finished, you get on one knee. Right? On your knee, one knee, come on. One knee. Come on, come on. Oh, if you can't, doesn't matter. Oh, well, don't if you've got a bad knee. You can stand up. And what you do is you say, guess what you're going to say? No, that's my job.
That's what I'll do.
You're going to say, deregulate. Come on, deregulate. Right. Privatise.
Privatise.
Globalise.
Globalise.
Corporatise.
Corporatise.
Excellent.
Excellent.
There's always a parrot, isn't there?
Half an hour later.
Well, you don't have to get your knees. All right. So you've all got your roles. Okay. Now this is a true story. In 1979, I was with a small group of people, and I told this bloke a joke. Well, I told this group a joke. It wasn't funny. And he fell on the ground. And we thought he was laughing. Guess what? He was dead. He dropped dead, laughing. And we couldn't resuscitate him. Unfortunately, we didn't bring a defibrillator tonight. So, I need to know if any of you can do first aid.
Yeah, I can.
Excellent. Could you come up here, please?
Oh, no.
Can you come up here, please? Come on, Gaz, I want you up here.
I'm
Come on.
never going to put my hand up ever again.
Well, you don't have to put your hand up, the crowd's too small. Right. Now, Gaz, I want you to lie down on the floor,
Oh, I'm
please.
not going to put my mouth
No, I'm going to update you. On the floor, Gaz. Come on. You're a young bloke. Now, the good news, Carolyn, is we've updated. I actually updated my CPR
Well, why aren't you
skills.
doing this?
Because I'm the host and I give the orders. All right? It's that simple. Right?
Okay.
So, no more mouth to mouth. It's 30 compressions a minute.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Can you get on your knees and stuff?
Get your hand up.
Yeah, like that. 30 a minute.
Yeah, but don't really.
He's back. All right, that's enough. Leave him alone. Stop handling that man. All right.
Comfortable in it.
No, but I'm saying you're our safety officer.
Healthy and safe.
So I want you to do the CPR if anybody
Don't
close
worry.
later. We haven't started yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
I'm
CPR.
exhausted.
It
Let
is
me get your
exhausting.
seat.
You know, one of the funniest experiences of my life is I was giving somebody CPR the old-fashioned way and doing it mouth to mouth, and he vomited in my mouth.
Oh, what? Can you say that again? I missed the first bit.
Bad luck.
Talking.
He vomited in my mouth while I was doing mouth to mouth, and then he died.
Oh,
Sad.
had a lot of...
Now, I've got the next best thing here. Because we don't have a defibrillator. I've looked at the age of the crowd. These are... You've laughing, don't you, sir?
Continence pads, are you?
Exactly, incontinence pads.
Yeah.
Now, a little bit of homekeeping. If you need one during the performance, I'm going to put them here, right? Incontinence pads. Right here, okay? Here. Here. And here. Feel free to come and collect one, but please do not insert it because of the camera, okay? Go to the toilet. Male here, female over there, okay? Now, I'm sure you've never had this happen before, okay? We haven't started yet.
Fine.
Now we're going to start.
10 minutes.
We're starting. Well, I'm doing 2 hours, you poor bastard. You can leave it.
2 hours.
You can leave and have a drink whenever you like. No, leave it on. It's all right. All right, let's start. This is the Church of Mammon. You are all cringing, complaining, carping consumers. I am the high priest of Mammon. That's what private investment for private profit is. We need losers. Good to see so many of you here. I am here to save your soul. And we're going to do this in a very strange way. As the high priest for Mammon, I have discovered an antidote to deregulation, privatisation, globalisation and corporatisation. I have discovered an antidote. And you know what that antidote is? I have discovered, you won't believe this, unbelievable. Where is the garlic? Where is the garlic? Where have I put the garlic?
Over there.
Over there. This is no good for vampires, but it's excellent for corporate CEOs.
We have a bag for Darren and Joe.
So I'm going to give you, pass them round, take out one, go home tonight, don't eat it, plant it into the ground, you break it up, plant it, and next year you will be able to protect yourself from corporations. This is the way, organically growing. Thank you. You're praying. Come here, young lady.
I'm good, thank you so much.
I know you're good. I didn't ask you whether you were good or not.
fair enough.
So pass them round, take one each, feel through. My hard labour into that. Now, you know when you go to a comedy show, the reason I'm humiliating myself tonight is very simple. I'm sick of Australian comedians. They are boring, predictable, disgusting, pedestrian.
Wow.
Really are.
Yeah.
You go into a show, right? Not that I'd pay to see a comedian. That's what I charge you tonight. You go to see a show, and you look at the audience, and they're like bloody laughing clowns in Sideshow Alley. You know, you see the laughing clown go, pop, and they go, ha ha ha! Next joke, please. Ha ha ha! And what do they joke about? What do they joke about? Toilet humour. Now, I am sick and tired of the ubiquitous 4-letter word. You know, every comedian does it. I'm going to do it earlier on in this show. Right. Cock. Cunt. Piss. Shit. Very good, you got it. That woman's good, she's good. And fuck. Alright? Have you noticed they're all below the belt? Cock, cunt, piss, shit, fuck. Well, I know a 4-letter word.
Love.
Have you been betrayed in love, darling?
Sweetheart story of my life.
Oh, is it? All right. Well, maybe we can find somebody for you here tonight.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I appreciate your input.
That's right. But 4-letter words, love. I didn't think of that. That's very funny. So, but I've got a better 4-letter word. It's above the belly button. It's a 4-letter word. It spells theft. It spells murder. It spells arson. It spells incest. It spells rape. Guess what it is? King. K-I-N-G. Think about it. Think about the number of people in human history who have died for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, to fight for their king.
Yes.
And who becomes a king? We all know who becomes a king. The most evil bastard on the planet. That's how you become a king.
Yes.
Now, but, you know, nobody says king is a 4-letter word. We're all going to have a public holiday on the 11th. Aren't you lucky, you lucky little people? Who's taking the oath of allegiance? No? Nobody?
What's that?
What's that? Fucking Italians. What do you expect?
What?
What do you expect from Italians? In 1948, they voted to boot out the king. No wonder he doesn't know. He's got no respect for royalty. Unlike our English brothers and sisters.
Why, thank you, my kind sir.
Look, madam.
Now you speak in my language.
I know. I think that your curtsy is wonderful.
Why, thank you.
It makes me feel love.
At home?
Loveful. We won't do that. Okay. Now, it's all about capitalism, okay? Now, you've all heard about... I have done a lot of reading in my life. I've read the Bible, the Quran, the Kama Sutra, and I got a sore back out of that one. I read Das Kapital, Marx's Das Kapital, Kropotkin's fields, factories and whatever. What else did I read? The Hindu Vedas, the Buddhist scripts, read them all. Looking for the secret. The secret of existence, the secret of life. You know, I've even read Adolf's Mein Kampf. Read that one too. In a desperate search for meaning, I even read Jim Jones' doctoral thesis on the Kool-Aid path to Nirvana.
Wow.
You know? I read that one. But guess what? There is nothing there. Nothing there. And then for all my life I've wanted to be a great religious leader. That's been my thing. I thought, what can we give people? And then I thought, eternal salvation, gone. One with the Godhead, gone. Extinguishment, you know?
Yes.
Reincarnation, and then you're extinguished, gone. 36 virgins, gone. I was thinking of offering 72, but don't know if I'll be able to deal with it. So, all these things, you know. And then I realised, I am surrounded by God. Money. Mammon. We live in a society that is dominated by money. You have the right to starve if you've got no money. You've got the right to be homeless.
Of course.
That's right. If you've got no money. You've got the right to be derided if if you got no money. Isn't it wonderful? And I thought, it's mammon. That is our God. In 2023, in Australia, mammon, money, the search for money is the only important thing. Nothing funny about it. But what is funny, what is hilarious, I find, is we live in a potentially wonderful, great country. For example, at the beginning of this, I should have acknowledged the Kulin Nation. No? And I see all these people all over the place acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians, but not talking about compensation, or treaty, or apology, or truth-telling. It's easy just to acknowledge, isn't it? And it's the same. As I said, we've got a potential to be a wonderful country. I find it hilarious, and I know you're all going to cry because CC comedy.
But we're not the laughing clown.
That's
we're the
right.
crying
You're not
clown,
laughing,
all
are you? It's two sides of the same coin.
Always.
Always. Very good. I got to pay you. You made this interesting. I like you.
I like you too.
Oh, this could be the beginning of romance.
Just stay beautiful.
Yeah, it could. It could be on the table. No, we won't go that far. All right, so I'm just saying. Now, here we live in the potentially the greatest nation on earth, right? 25 miserable people out of 7 billion, 7.5 billion, living on a continent, okay? And guess what? We have private charities competing. We have Australian charities trying to raise money to send Australian kids to public schools. Can you believe it? Think about it. Competing with charities that are trying to raise money to help kids overseas who are starving.
What about the kids that are taken in the system in Australia?
That are what, the system?
My kids were taken in from the system, so I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
can you please educate me about like what happens to our kids in the system?
Well,
Please?
that's what I'm going to try to do.
Thank you.
I'm going to try. Most likely I'll fail,
It's
but
not
I'm going to
fair
try.
enough.
No, I'm going to
But
try.
I bless you.
I'm going to
Bless
try, young lady. I'm going to
Thank
try.
you, young man.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you so
well, I suggest you have your cataracts removed. If you think I'm a young man.
Young man.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
go back. Think about it. How ridiculous. And then on top of that, we give billions of dollars to private schools.
Thank you.
So they can have equestrian centres,
Oh,
swimming pools, do overseas trips,
Thank you.
courtesy of the Australian taxpayer.
thank
Have you ever heard anything so hilarious? And the fact is that we, the great Australian people, the carping, cringing, complaining consumers, murmur about it
Yeah.
underneath our breath. We've become the great murmuring classes. Murmur, murmur, murmur,
Well
murmur.
said.
Everybody talks about Australians being, great rebels. Bullshit. When have you seen a great Australian rebel? Ned Kelly? A rebel? Give me a break. Australian rebels. Australians are not rebels. We are conformists. We love to be conformists. And as I said, there are 2 tribes in Australia. 2 tribes. The Gunner tribe and the somebody should do something about that tribe. Have you noticed? And some people are in both tribes. And I have met so many members of the Gunner tribe in my life that I'm going to do something about that Gunner tribe. They're everywhere. These bloody Gunner tribe. Have you met a Gunner tribe? Are you a card-carrying member of the Gunner tribe?
Oh, right here.
Right here, Gunner. What are you going to do, boy?
I'm going to get the card out.
Ah, good on you. What are you going to do, boy? Hey! What are you going to do, boy? What are you going to do, boy? You're going to open your check and have a beer.
Yeah, that's right.
And what are you going to do, girl?
Shut up.
Shut up. Yeah. Yeah.
For a minute.
Gunner. The gunners, they're everywhere. But my favourite is, I don't mind a gunner, because they're going to gunner one day, alright? But the ones I really have trouble dealing with, and somebody should do something about that tribe. You see them gathered around the television set at night. Could be your parents, could be your brothers, could be your sisters, your uncle, your aunts. God, that's terrible. Somebody should do something about that. That's horrible. Somebody should do something about that. Isn't it amazing? We expect somebody else to do something about it. We never think that maybe together we could do something about that. It's funny, isn't it? It's hilarious. Gunner tribe, that somebody should do something about that tribe. So I hope by the end of tonight that you will tear up your membership card to the Gunner tribe, and that somebody should do something about that tribe and join that shrinking band of elderly activists. I mean, there isn't even a shrinking band of anarchists, they don't exist. Now, elderly folk, anybody need the sanitary urinary incontinence? Not yet? Is anybody like it? Dennis hasn't been laughing. All right, come on, up. Both of you. Come on, what do you say? No, you can do it from down there. That's it. Come on, come up. You can come to away. What?
I'll take the lot. I'll find some sort of use.
He's a consumer. Consume.
Yes.
You two, come on. Come on, just jump up. What do you say?
Defecate.
Loudly.
Defecate.
And
Die.
yes, and the rest of you?
Let's corporatise.
No, deregulate.
Corporatise.
Privatise.
Globalise.
Globalise. Corporatise. Remember, that's our religion. You bloody anarchists. You've forgotten. You have forgotten our tenet of faith. Deregulate, privatise, globalise, corporatise, and you will be showered with the goods of society. Actually, it's a corporate golden shower. Sorry. Below the belt humour. Had to get that in.
He didn't swear.
No, I didn't swear. It was a fucking corporate golden shower. I didn't swear. It's just wonderful. What a wonderful world we live in. Now, you know some religions have a Holy Trinity?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
You heard of the Holy Trinity? Well, in the Church of Mammon, which I'm the high priest of, we have a Holy Trinity. A really important Holy Trinity. It's called Hexdebt, wage slavery, superannuation. That's our Holy Trinity. Could you imagine that? That is our Holy Trinity. Hexdebt, wage slavery, superannuation. How many of you bloody elderly little folk have superannuation? Put your hands up. Come on.
How do you think I donate to people like you?
Yeah, well, that's good to see, isn't it? Remember when it was first introduced? You took a 10% pay cut so your boss could put it into the government coffers. And then the government said, well, let's not us invest it. Let's give it to the private sector. Let's give it to the system that oppresses you.
Yeah.
That's superannuation.
Can I go
And-
home now?
No.
I've got depression coming on.
Well, if you've got depression, I can give you ECT.
I was okay before I came.
Well, sue.
Might disagree.
Sue.
Will I get some money for that?
Well, not for how to move. Sue. I mean, it's the biggest con in the world, super. I love super. To me, it's a little bit like being a Hindu. You know, you're either born a Brahmin or another caste, or an untouchable, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's a caste system, right? It's a financial caste system, superannuation. If you get a basic wage during your life, you have a shit retirement. If you get lots of money during your life, you put a lot away, you get a lot of tax advantages, and you have a great retirement. It's just another caste system. It's a financial caste system, which we're dragged into. 50% of every dollar you've got in your super account tonight, unless you've got a self-made super fund, which I have, which is about a few $1,000s, I can't save. If you have one of them, 50 cents in every dollar will be going into the stock market. Ooh, yes, to enrich people. Ooh. And then what I love is, I love speaking to elderly people who have got superannuation, because they say, oh Joe, because I see a lot of elderly people in my practice, they say, Joe, I'm concerned. And I said, what are you concerned about? I'm really worried every day because my money is in a superannuation fund which invests in the stock market, and I'm concerned there's going to be another collapse. I mean, what a life! Instead of getting a bloody pension at the end of your life, or a universal basic income, you've got to rely on the private sector that exploited your labour all your life to fund your retirement. Wonderful! You see, two sides. Tears and comedy. You can't differentiate in life.
Jack
So that's...
Andrews lived on rats. An inspiration to us all.
Who?
Jack Andrews, the anarchist.
Yeah, rats, yeah, 1903, he got TB and died at 37. Great inspiration. Buried in an unmarked grave in bloody Kew Cemetery in the Anglican section.
Oh, that's cruel.
Yeah, they told me he confessed on his deathbed. They convinced him there's a God. Don't get me started on those
But he
people.
lived on rats.
He lived on rats. There's nothing wrong with rats. A lot of people in Indonesia live on rats. Ever been to Indonesia? You can buy rats. Yeah, they feed on the grain. Why don't you feed on them?
Yeah.
Let's get back. Hextech. This is another reverse. Think about it. If your parents are rich, they pay up front for your education. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Here's the $150,000 for the dental degree. Here's the $240,000 for the medical degree. But if you come from a poor family, and you've gone through the public education system, there's no scholarships. The only scholarships that exist, which are wonderful, are scholarships to private schools. Have you noticed that? How the private schools, which are taxpayer funded, put the most intelligent working class kids into private schools by giving them, bursaries to study, and then they inculcate them with the philosophy and the ideas of the upper classes. So they steal, every generation they steal the youth. That's why I hate Mr. Albanese.
Oh, yes.
Now, Mr. Albanese is a classical example of somebody who we say has pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Professional politician, right? Housing Commission boy.
Is that public housing?
Public housing.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Single mother. We, the taxpayer, paid for him to get a free education, no HECS debt when he went to university. We paid for his mum to bring him up, and I think that was a great thing. And it wasn't until the Whitlam Labor government was elected in '72 that all single mothers received a bloody pension. Before that, they didn't. They were punished. Right? And think about it.
Electoral politics, yeah.
Electoral politics. Single mothers. So where was I? I lost my thought. All right, there we are. HECS. So, you finish your medical degree and you've got a $250,000 debt. And if you want to be a bulk billing doctor, forget about paying it during your lifetime. Think about it. And we talk about competition, but that's another word. So you've got HECS debt, you've got superannuation, in the middle, if you're lucky, you've got wage slavery. And I'm not just talking about people who get wages from employers, but I'm also talking about small business people. Really, I've been a small business person for over 40 years. We're really warped in the head. I notice there's another small business person over there. Warped in the head. Because we think that we're different from wage slaves, but we're not. We're in exactly the same boat. But we, as a class, always think we're different. Somehow we're aspirational. You're not laughing. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Another one of my... So, Albanese, right? Public housing, which has been privatised. Single parent, professional politician, becomes Prime Minister. And what does he do? He invites the corporate scumbags to his parties. He goes to their parties. He doesn't do anything about public housing. He's not very smart. Because when he was first elected, he used to come up and he used to talk about public housing, but then his people told him the difference. They said, you've got to use the word social housing. And that's what he does now. So what does he do for single pensioners? Hardly anything. What do they do? So he's a man, and this is why we're in such a difficult situation today, a significant number of Australians. He is a man who has forgotten where he came from. Yep. He has forgotten. And us, we haven't forgotten where we came from. We haven't forgotten our parents' struggles. We haven't forgotten the Whitlam era, which gave us that impetus that we needed to be educated. Yep. We haven't forgotten, but most of our brothers and sisters we went through high school with, university with, have totally forgotten where they came from. And that's hilarious. It's hilarious. Think about it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. They take on the mantle. They take on the mantle of the ruler. It's unbelievable. Another one that's unbelievable. As I said, this has got the potential to be the greatest country on earth. It really has. It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful place. 25.2 million people living on the continent?
2 million.
No, not enough. We could have 1 million, 1 billion, 3 billion, 7 billion. All right. But, what do we do? What do we do? We have most of the world's natural resources. We have gold, silver, frankincense and myrrh. Right. Just keeping up the religious tradition. We have all these things. We have uranium, bauxite,
Everything.
iron ore, you name it, we've got it. Silver, titanium, opals, very good, very good.
From the gallery.
Pink diamonds,
Same.
we got it all. So what do? Rare metals, you got it all. I need that woman up here, but she won't come up here. She doesn't want to be associated with me. And I understand why. Right? So, we've got all these wonderful things. Lithium. All right. Anything else? Come on. Coal. Coal. Anything else? What else? Come on, don't get excited. Up, you two. Beer. Up. Go on. Go on.
Give him a break. He's trying to have a drink.
Well, that's the whole point. You can do it from there. What do you say?
Consume.
Yeah, exactly. A beer's consumed. Hey! Where's the brown crew? Come on.
Defecate. Defecate.
Yes!
Die.
That's our mantra. That is the capitalist mantra. Consume, defecate, die. This is when I'm going to do a Tom Jones. I'm going to throw my hat into the ring. And the woman who catches it, or the bloke, watch out. Hey! No, I won't do it. No. I was thinking about it. All right, where were we? Yeah, so what do we do? What do we do with all these precious minerals? Which initially, lithium, we've said that. Keep your eye on the performance woman. All right?
The regular.
All right? It's all there. What do we do?
Sell it cheap to somebody who makes a lot of money out of it.
Dig them up and...
No, we don't dig them up.
Oh, you don't?
We're stupid. We give somebody else the right to dig them up. Yes, they think about it. And then we allow them to keep 95% of the profits. Yay! And then we say, can we have a little bit back in taxation? And they say, no, we're part of the Price Waterhouse Cooper Brigade. We're not going to give you anything. We're not going to give you any tax. Oh, but we'll employ 2% of you. And the greatest sight I've seen in my life, not personally, I would have given my right kidney, which isn't very good, to see this, was Gina Reinhardt. A few years ago. Billionaires, 34 billion. Gina, my apologies, Gina. Oh, I can't even imagine a woman protesting. Remember the protest? She was protesting about the super mining tax. She couldn't afford it. Could you imagine that? And then poor old Ruddy gets ditched. And then Gillard comes in. And guess what? It's all watered down. And they don't have, Gina doesn't have to pay. And Mr. Stokes and Mr. Palmer and all those wonderful people. Amazing! We give it to them. So we get 1% back. Now, the Norwegians, much smarter than you crowd, you know, the murmuring classes, the Gunner tribe, you know, somebody should do something about that tribe. Much smarter, they said, sure, you can develop our oil fields, but we want 90% of the profit back, which we'll then put in a future fund to look after the interests of our people.
Sounds fair.
Sounds fair?
Yep.
I hope you don't get any germs on that, John.
Oh, I can't keep it.
No. Do you think I share my hairdress with everybody?
Everything.
No. Think about it. How foolish we are as a people that we accept this every day. We accept it. We can't even send kids to public schools. We've got to have private charities. We've got to have things in the morning to give them breakfast. That we have a million children living under the poverty line in this country.
Bob Hawke said it wouldn't happen.
But he's dead, mate. You can't trust a promise from a dead person. Sorry.
Or a live person, yeah?
Well, possibly. That's why I promise nothing. All I promise you is the chance to worship Mammon. Through me.
Yep.
Through me.
Promise
Only through me. Worship Mammon.
No, you promise hope, the love child.
You get one in every crowd. You get one in every crowd. Hope. The love child of desire and expectation. The desire for change and the expectation that change will occur. Darling, you don't have hope when you're a member of the Gunner tribe. You've got the state of origin. Alright? You've got the AFL. You've got soccer. Who needs hope when you got, you know, corporate sport? Oh, these deluded people. I've got to... Mammon. Alright, the rest of you, up!
The rest of us.
Yeah, not the ones with the caps. You've done your duty. The rest of you, up! Up! Come on, stand up! Up!
I don't take orders from men in black cloaks.
Well, it's about time you did, darling. You know why? You know why? Because we offer hope. And we are the only hope you have. Alright, you ready? You ready for our mantra? You ready for the mantra of the Church of Mammon? Here we go. Deregulate! Deregulate! Privatise! Globalise! Corporatise! I hope you feel better after that. I hope you feel better after that. That is our role in life. Yeah. What can I say? What a wonderful world we live in. Sorry. I'm saying sorry to Louis Armstrong. What a wonderful world. Isn't it wonderful? How can we be so stupid? And people think I'm...
It's just normal.
People think
It's
I'm
normal.
twisted.
You?
Cynical.
Never.
I'm not cynical, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I mean, why can't other people see it?
Why are they laughing?
Who?
Everybody.
You're not laughing. There's nothing to laugh about. That's why I'm crying. It's a tragedy. Comedy and tragedy. Two faces of the same coin. If you came here for a laugh, go home.
Oh, okay.
There is nothing to laugh about. Nothing. Nothing. Think about it. The Holy Trinity.
So I can go home now. You said I can go home.
You can go home. I don't mind. You can go home. You can go home. Yeah, go get a beer. Yeah.
No, I'm off.
You're off. I know you're off. But don't tell us more about it. Go home. Typical. Typical. They come here for a laugh, they cry and they go home.
Don't expect me to be Margaret Kelly chaperone again if you're going to talk to me like that.
You're not going to be Margaret Kelly's chaperone again
Oh, what?
because she's not going down tomorrow.
Aren't we having fun tomorrow?
We're having fun. We're having fun with Margaret.
Oh, that's okay.
Can I tell you the Margaret story?
Oh.
Everybody? Some people know the Margaret story. You see, Margaret is a victim of policy. A victim of policy. Poor Margaret Kelly, single mother, lived in the Barrack Beacon estate in Port Melbourne for 24 years. Retired adult teacher. 2 years ago, 12 days before Christmas, she thought it was Santa Claus. There was a knock on the door. It was the Ministry of Housing, Homes Victoria, with private security guards, telling the people of the Barrack Beacon estate, that the 89 families on the estate, that they would all be relocated. Could you imagine that? They're all going to be relocated to nice homes while they knock down the estate and rebuild it. But guess what? You see, the Barrack Beacon estate is in the centre of Garden City. Very nice, upwardly mobile, aspirational, upper middle class suburb. The land on which this public housing is very expensive. So the government, the Victorian Labor government, which has privatised anything that's not nailed down, the Titles Office, the Port of Melbourne, roads, roads, whatever they're called, toll roads, you name it. Don't get me started on Transurban. No, don't get me started on Transurban. Right? You know, they've privatised all these places, right? And guess what they've been doing for the last 6 years? They've been privatising public housing. Initially the management, and then the land. And in their great wisdom, what they've done, and this is happening all over the state, not just on the Barrack Beacon estate.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Walker Street, Northcote, everywhere.
What they do is, they go in, forcefully relocate the residents, and then they give a private developer a 40-year lease, which will be extended to a 100-year lease in 40 years, to build private homes on public land,
Wrong.
which becomes their... No, it's right.
Shame.
No, it's not. It's right. It should be that way. We should privatise everything, you know that.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the murmuring classes have all agreed. But this time they've gone one step too far. Because...
Rubbish, private idea.
Yeah, you privatise, I think we'll privatise you next, Jeremy. We'll privatise your left kidney. So, think about it. And they said we'll give you 120 social houses, 1-bedroom apartments. If you look at what they did at Ashwood, they're right in the background, the social housing, which is private housing, not public housing. And they're getting away with it. Because you've got all these parasites out there which are destroying everything. Real parasites. Real parasites. And I'll keep going, call them parasites. Aged care, NDIS, early childhood development,
Thanks.
you know,
Thanks.
the banks, well, they haven't been privatised, they are privatised. We privatised the Commonwealth Bank, right? They're all being privatised, you know, because the private sector does it better. And not only that,
Yes, yes.
not only that,
Privatise air, you know.
yes, privatise.
Air.
Let's go, up, on your feet,
Air. We don't want this
on your feet,
public air.
on your feet. You're getting excited. Deregulate, regulate, privatise,
Privatise.
globalise, corporatise. That's our religion. I can see some bored people out there. There's no, you can sit down, sir. And, you know.
Come again?
So Margaret, the story of Margaret, let's get back to Margaret, right? So Margaret Kelly says, no, I don't want to move. And it's not just about me, it's about a retain, repair, reinvest strategy. And I want to talk to the fucking minister. That's what I said, not Margaret, she's very polite. She's a very polite woman. 68, on a mobility scooter. You know, ice cream wouldn't melt in her mouth. Wonderful woman, wonderful woman. And she comes up to us sitting on the steps of the Victorian Parliament House, week after week, year after year, on our defend and extend public housing, and public housing everybody's business ticket, and says, can you please help us? We said, we'll do our best. She said, I had some other people try to help me, but they used it as a political rallying cry for people to join their particular little noxious group. Right? So we've offered her some help. And what she is doing is she is highlighting. Because ultimately, if they want to develop that estate, they're going to have to take the iron fist out of the Velvet Club and carry her out of that estate.
Yeah.
And that's what other people need to do.
We should
They need, yep,
They have to
need,
be there.
yep. So I encourage you tomorrow to join us on the steps. There'll be another rally for Margaret Kelly. Because I know many of you were there a few weeks ago, because it's that courage that I spoke about. She's not part of the Gunner tribe, or I'm going to do something about that tribe. She is part of the activist tribe. Not because she's got a political philosophy or an ideology, but because her personal experiences have taught her that she cannot trust people in authority. And all she wants is a chat to the minister. Not about where they're going to put her, where they're going to relocate her, but she wants a chat with the minister about their policy. Because it's policy that's driven out. And the Honourable, the very Honourable Mr. Colin Brooks, I should have spoken to those lads that were here from the Plumbers Union before, because he was an ex-plumber, you know. He won't talk to her. He'll speak to her about where they're going to relocate her, but he won't talk to her. Now, young Caroline, would you like to stand up?
Oh,
I would like to shower you with praise. Stand up.
oh,
Stand up. Now, last time, a few weeks ago, Margaret, we decided we would go down to the Ministry of Housing.
Do you know the Ministry of Housing, Fairness and Homes?
My apology, Fairness and Homes.
Oh,
Fairness and Homes. Yeah, and I said to Caroline, Margaret needs somebody who's as tough as nails to go down with her. Yes, that's right. And she and Jacinta with the purple hair, and Jess from the estate in Ascot Vale, which had been privatised, and now they were suffering from that privatisation. We were able to sneak them through the door
He just got through.
That just got through, just before it slammed shut. And then the numbers of police increased and
18.
increased and increased. And the poor Victorian police, they felt so sorry for them. They had to go upstairs to the minister's office on
I
the
said-
22nd floor.
We're here to get a meeting with the minister, and you need to go upstairs, Senior Sergeant Joel,
That's right.
and you need to go up and get them down here.
That's
We
right.
can't go up,
That's right.
please.
And they went up.
And they went up, and
Yeah. The minister didn't come down.
no, but this woman and a bloke came down, and she said, "I've done 5 years of study." I hate to say it, I said, "So have I." By this time, Margaret had glued herself to the rail. Anyway, it's like it was just, oh, we can't put anything in his diary. I said, but you're his PA. You've got access to his diary. It's very easy. Just get a pen, pop a time in. She only wants a date and a time. So they scuttled back upstairs.
They didn't come down. Then 2 hours later, it's just four hours. Was it 4? My God, I didn't realise.
Well, it's nearly
Four-
4 because I needed one of those pads.
Oh,
Oh yeah, maybe for tomorrow.
here we go. Here we
One
go.
for Margaret.
Here we go. That
and
capitalist stole them all. Oops.
that-
Oh, sorry. I
One for
shouldn't do that.
Margaret. One for me and one for Margaret.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be 4 hours tomorrow. It's a different type of
Oh,
rally.
well, I'll give them back.
No, don't give them to you.
Continent.
Give one to the minister.
Anybody continent?
I'll sign it
Soon.
Yeah. But this is going on around the country.
Sit there, can I sit down now?
Yes. I wanted to
Why am I
honour
standing up?
you. Because we were here to honour you.
Oh, anytime
Like,
you need
yeah,
a little
anytime.
action.
Because it was a farce.
Oh,
Yeah.
then he said, we're going to have to start proceedings.
That's right.
And I said, what would that mean? And he said, we're going to have to arrest you. And I said, I've been arrested before. And then we realised that the minister probably said, don't arrest a 72-year-old and a 68-year-old in a wheelie chair.
Yeah.
Oh, what? They're just cowards. Absolute cowards.
No, they saw the light.
Oh,
Because we had surrounded the building, there was about 30 police by this time,
Banging on
guns,
the glass.
banging on the glass. They saw the light.
yeah, banging.
They came out and they came to me. The high priest
The
of Mammon.
oracle.
The high priest of Mammon. They came to me and they said, excuse me, would you like to go inside and have a chat to Margaret? Maybe you could ask her to leave. And I said, I'd be happy. Because I knew by that time, poor old Margaret and Caroline needed to have a piss. That's right. 4 hours for an old person glued to the railing is not a good thing. So I went in and I held Margaret's hand and I said, it's time, Margaret.
She didn't want to go.
No. Because
I had to get
her hand was glued to the
I had to
rail.
get the nail remover out and
Yeah.
switch it around.
Yeah.
And I said, are you coming off? And she said, oh, I'm not sure. So I switched a bit more. They're vinyl and they're beautiful. Detached from the...
But the good thing was Margaret's left some of herself on their sofa. That's what happens when you don't allow a 68-year-old to go to the toilet. There are
Not
consequences.
our fault.
So what I'm saying is, if you tear up your membership card to the Gunner tribe and that somebody should do something about that tribe and you get involved, that things happen.
And it's fabulous fun.
It is
exciting.
fun.
You can have talks to the police with guns, 18 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, what, you're scared of a 72-year-old? To the teeth. Love it.
You could have.
Let's do it again soon.
You could have ripped the railing down. Man, just glued to the railing. Okay, what I'm saying is, there's a lesson there. So tomorrow, 12 o'clock, join us. And if you're watching this video, don't join us tomorrow because Manana never comes, all right? It's over. But you wonder, this is such a rich country. You really wonder, what's the point of all this? What's the point of all this? Why can't they share? It's not as if they haven't got enough. It's not I mean, they've corrupted our political system. Where we get the alternative Liberal Party masquerading as the Australian Labor Party, you know.
Because that's what ALP stands for, you do know that. Alternative Liberal Party. It's not the Australian Labor Party. They died years ago, they've been cremated. You know, have you noticed with Mr Albanese how his suits are getting more expensive?
And his ties are changing colour.
Yeah, and they're very shiny. I wish I had a shiny
no longer
coat.
red.
That's right, yeah. But that's the great thing is they change. But it doesn't have to be like this. It's hilarious. If a Martian came down here, right? If a Martian came down here, let's say it's a non-binary Martian, okay? A non-binary Martian comes down here. Non-binary. All Martians are non-binary, right? Comes down here and says, has a look around. What do you think they'd think? What do you think they'd think? They'd see kids starving around the world because they can't afford a 25% rehydration kit. They'd see world leaders sending armies against each other to kill each other, ordinary people to kill each other.
Climate change like a dog.
Oh, let's not worry about climate change. We're all gonna. Oh, that reminds me, the greatest joke of all. The greatest joke of all, not climate change. The greatest.
Where the pad's gone.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm just checking. The greatest. That's not the greatest change. The greatest change of all is the privatisation of old age. It is the greatest trick on the younger generation. Now, we think climate change is the big thing, right? People change legislation in South Australia to stop these criminals obstructing public buildings, all right? 3 months jail, $50,000 fine. We do all that. But these young people, our offspring, who we've destroyed the planet to make a buck, you know, who we've saddled with a HECS debt, who we've saddled with the impossibility of owning a home, who we've psychologically tortured, you know, they think that they're going to get our money when we die. It's not like that. The privatisation of old age means that when you need aged care, those bastards will get every cent and there'll be hardly anything left over for your kiddies and grandkids. I've looked at some of those contracts, 500 pages. $2.50 to brush your teeth. It just goes on and on and on.
You thought superannuation was a rot.
Well, but this is the beauty. They rob you of your superannuation.
I ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, then they rob you of your home. You're right. Please interrupt.
Don't forget,
You don't have to put Gaz, you don't have to put your hand up.
Don't forget the money box. If the money box is on there, the big guys come in and they're the first things they look for. Under your bed and your money box. They pitch all your money.
Hang on, Gaz, you haven't joined the computer age.
That's true.
We now have virtual money boxes. Alright, and we have real cribs stealing from us. If you put it under your bed, can I have your address? You'll be the last one. I mean, the bad old days of beating up old people and stealing their money under the mattress, they're gone. What you've got is all these scams, you know? But let's get back to old age.
Yes.
So what we've seen is, you used to work, you got a bloody pension, you survived, okay? Now, you work, you have superannuation, and then they steal it from you. What is the most common advertisement you see on television today? Apart from Macca's. Or cars. What's the most common? Just as common as super, even more dangerous. No, fuck Betty. No. Aged care facilities. You see these happy old people saying, I'm going to go to Avoco. I'm going to this home. I'm going to that home. Please join me. We can play cards. Oh, whoa, whoa. We can play cards with our neighbours. I've been waiting for this since I was 55, they say. And I'm waiting for every cent I've got to be ripped off by the aged care industry. So our kiddies are not getting it sweet F all as long as they keep belonging to the Gunner tribe, and somebody should do something about that tribe. It's just extraordinary. And we accept it as reality.
It's normal. That's just normal.
Normal.
Australia, that's normal. That's just normal.
Normal.
All this is normal.
Yeah, all normal.
Yeah, we're in Australia.
Yeah,
We're
normal. Can I give you another story? Can I give you another story?
Yeah, please.
About the housing crisis.
Yes.
I love this one. This is the housing crisis we've got today. Has anybody mentioned public housing as a solution? No.
Yeah, I'd have.
Yeah, I know, but you're just Carolyn. You don't count. You're just an
I
individual.
accept that. I accept
We don't count.
Yeah.
All right. Up.
Yeah.
Up. Come on.
Chicken.
Come on, chickenhead. Consume.
Consume! Consume!
Consume. Come on. Come on.
Die!
Deregulate.
Deregulate.
Privatise. Globalise. Corporatise. This is better than a revival meeting at Hillside. This is better. Eat your heart out, Hillside. I've got you all going. This is wonderful. You are devotees. We need cringing, carping, complaining consumers. I'll tell you another great story. Have you? Yes. I know I'm paying you to laugh, but please, but laugh on cue. All right. I've got to tell you another story. Have you noticed how your status in society has changed subtly over the last 30 years?
Yes.
Remember once we were citizens with rights and responsibilities? Now whenever the government writes to you, we are customers. Dear customer, their taxation office writes to you. Dear customer, not dear fucking citizen, you know.
Well, that's terrible.
Social Security writes to you. Dear, they send you emails. Dear customer, when did we allow this to happen? That we turn from citizens to customers. Our non-binary Martian would be disgusted.
They're pissed off home by now.
Oh, they're not going to stay on this planet. They could get the privatisation bug. You know, people talk about them getting the virus. Joe, did you disgrace yourself there?
Yeah,
Do you need a pad?
Trying to.
Do you need a pad, Joe?
It was a lack of serious discussion that did it, Joe.
Alright, so where was I? Customer. Could you imagine that? Being called a customer by a government department, which you pay through taxation. Who doesn't pay tax in this room? Wrong. Who doesn't pay tax in this room? Everybody pays for the goods and services tax. That's another Hindu tax. Because the more you earn, the less you worry about the GST. The less you earn, the bigger component of your money goes out in GST. Think about it. We all pay tax in one way or another. And they call us customers. I mean, with that type of service, you'd liquidate them. I don't mean physically, sorry. So, let's move on. Customers, citizens, aged care, early childhood development. They push out the community sector. NDIS, wonderful idea. I fought for it for 40 years. 40 years I fought for it. I used to see people who were disabled after accidents who weren't due to compensation, living miserable lives on disability support pensions. Their partners and families carrying out the most intimate care. We fought for the National Disability Insurance Scheme for years. And what happens now? It's been colonised by the private sector. Everything is colonised by the private sector. Even the public service. What do you think this PricewaterhouseCoopers so-called shit is all about? You know what they've done? They have put the fox in the chook shed.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
The fox in the chook shed.
Yes, today.
Yeah, the fox in the chook shed. The chook shed, that's right, watch out. The chook shed is the public service. The fox is all these private consultancy firms which provide unbiased advice to the government. What type of unbiased? This is what I need. A rest. Yeah, we all need a rest. The fox. Where's the fox? I'm the fox. I'm the fox.
Yeah, okay.
So we put the fox in the Commonwealth and public service and the state public service. We get the very people who make their money out of exploiting other people on a private investment for private profit mantra to run the show, to give the government ideological advice which fits its ideological position. I mean, Mr. Morrison may have been stupid, you know. He may not have been very bright, but Mr. Howard is a wonderful...
He had faith. He had faith.
He had faith,
See?
but not in me, not in Mammon.
And
He had faith in another God. You know the first commandment, don't you? Thou shalt not take false gods before me. You know that. So don't stray, please.
What is that?
All right. Don't stray. All right. This has got to end soon. It's got to end. I mean, it's a total failure, but we tried. It's yeah, but life is funny. It is just so funny. It is so funny. That's right, the murmuring chooks. The chooks, the murmuring chooks. You murmur, you chooks.
There's a rooster here.
You're kidding. You call that a rooster? Come on.
Roger, there's a line coming. Just be careful.
He's a Sicilian rooster.
There's a line
Oh
coming.
yeah, that four-letter word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A rooster.
Never mind the rooster, where's
We could talk about bigger things, international.
Bigger things.
International, no, you're not that big a thing. Real bigger
Hey,
things.
I'm waiting.
Real bigger things.
Okay, what?
Think about it.
Oh, I don't
How many of you have got kids? Raise your hand.
know.
How many of you got grandkids? Raise your hand.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, are you willing to sacrifice your children?
Yes!
On the altar of Mammon?
Yes!
Are you willing? Are you willing to send them to war? Ah. Yes. Yes. Against the evil Yellow Empire. That's this week, and next week it'll be the evil Red Empire, and the week after the evil Purple Empire.
They only have one overseas base for America, have over 800. Work that out.
Come on, who's been telling you that story?
Yeah.
Red flag.
You be going to there for
Red
2 hours.
flag.
Yeah. Think about it.
You can't have too many.
They're preparing us for war. And you don't believe, nobody believes me. You talk to the murmuring classes out there, and they'll all talk to you about the Chinese threat. The clucking class. They will talk to you about the Chinese threat, the Russian threat. You know, people in Melbourne have always been worried about the Russian threat. I'll bring a bit of history into this. A real chicken. A real chicken. Yes. And she hasn't even had any alcohol.
God help you with my brain.
She's good. I've taken the coat off. I'm just a mere mortal now.
Ordinary blind.
I'm no longer the high priest of Mammon.
Sacrifice.
I've decided that the sacrifice. They wanted me to sacrifice my eldest child, and I said no. Alright?
Just take number 2.
Yeah, well, I could take number 2. That's no loss.
That might have been an opportunity missed.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, it could have been, Jeremiah. It could be right there. So, as I said, I could go on, but I'm not going to. We have a real comedian, been
Oh,
assistant.
what, you finished?
No.
Oh,
What's the time?
8:15.
Is that all?
Another 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, but I've got the real comedian coming on next.
Yeah, but when are you
What's
off?
her name?
Well, now, once the real comedian comes on, once the real comedian comes on, you know, I'm gone. Thank you, thank you. That's what I like. Chickens.
Let's get it louder.
No chickens here, I tell you.
Hey, are you going to use that, Colleen?
No, I had my sexy pants on.
Ah, right. You're right.
When I'm ready.
Keep
All right.
going.
Yeah, I'll keep going. I'll keep going. As I said, we've got a real
Gotta
comedian
get
coming
our
up.
money's worth. You said
You paid nothing. What do you expect for nothing? What do you expect for nothing?
Hey, we're contributing to the tab here.
We have a revolt.
Yeah.
The consume people have thrown off their chicken hats. We're all going to be punished.
What about the poo people?
The poo people are still here.
Yeah, you go, girl.
Go, poo people.
Right, take this. This is my intro.
Oh, intro.
We're not ready. We're not ready.
Where are my glasses?
Not yet.
When you're ready. All right. Where are my glasses? They're over there somewhere.
In his pocket. You want me to look? Well, here you are. Use mine.
Are they magnified?
Of course they are.
Oh, they're in my coat. Yeah. Well, I couldn't be bothered, mate. You never know where that coat's been.
How's that? All right?
No, I can't see it.
Here.
I'll try
Away
this.
the vampires.
Kerry.
I've been rejected.
I can't see it.
Type of garlic.
It's garlic. We got corporate garlic. Yeah.
So no, but which type of garlic is this? There's so many.
Which type of garlic?
Well, come on,
Which
you
type of garlic?
advertise
What do you think this is? You think this is a comedy show? Which type of bloody garlic? You give away free garlic and they want to know what type.
Don't make me laugh.
'Cause it's
Exactly.
funny.
This is a consumer-driven society. You don't pay for it, you get nothing.
I just want to know.
Hey, it's anti-economics when you give it away.
That's right.
I'm not asking about the economics, I'm asking what type of garlic it is.
Organic, tasty garlic.
Yeah, you said on your Facebook thing, I saw it,
Yes.
that there were 4 different types. And I'm just asking,
That's
what
Spanish
those
garlic.
4 different types
You'll
of
believe
this
it.
is?
The white one.
It's Mexican garlic.
It's what?
Mexican.
Mexican garlic.
Garlic, thank you. Jesus, was that so hard?
Yes. Why should I give you my secrets? Now that's corporate garlic. You hold that, you go into Centrelink and you hold up that garlic and they will treat you with respect.
Nobody goes into Centrelink anymore, it's all virtual.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Everything's virtual.
Everything's virtual.
It keeps bloodsuckers away.
Yeah, it does.
The parasite.
Grow it and then you give it to your friends. It'll become a mass movement within 3 years. Everybody will have the corporate garlic and they'll go like this. They'll go like this, you know. Corporate garlic.
Corporate.
Would you like some corporate garlic?
Not
Keeps the
bad.
vampires away.
Not bad. I've tried it.
I'm just waiting for the real comedian who's dressing.
Tried it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to have a joke about God in the Bible.
No.
What?
No.
I came all this way from Northcote to hear a joke about the Bible.
You came from Northcote to Footscray. Got to give this woman a round of applause. She came all the way from Northcote to Footscray. Where? Did you cross the arrow? Did you cross the arrow?
No.
Well, you don't get a joke about it.
Maribyrnong. I did the Maribyrnong. Tell you.
All right, I'm going to tell you a joke about atheists.
No, I want the one about God.
Yeah, but it's about atheists.
Sex, it was.
No, it's not.
Oh, come on, need to hear about sex.
You want a joke about sex?
No, you told
From a 71-year-old man. I'm the joke about sex.
I'm older than you, so I demand
Well,
that.
we're both jokes about sex.
You cougar, you.
Oh, what?
Cougar.
Oh, I'm a bit deaf. Oh, I haven't got a hearing aid.
She's too old to be a cougar.
You're never too old to be a cougar.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Too old to be a cougar. You've got to be 50 to be a cougar.
50, you reckon?
Yeah.
What am I then? I must be a cheater.
I know what he's saying.
Yeah, cheater, yes, but not a cougar.
If you're under 50.
I've done it with
Be an old cougar.
An old cougar.
Yeah.
Okay, so that joke's for next time.
Well, look, look, can I give you a joke?
It was about gender business.
Yeah, I forgot. Did I tell you, did I?
You told me you're going there with somebody who's 20.
You said the best
It's relative. It's relative. Oh, fair enough.
Oh, it's about my discussion with God.
Yeah.
About gender
It's good to
business.
establish that sort of thing, yeah.
No, it was
You didn't
about.
tell me what it was. I've come all this way to hear it.
No, it wasn't about gender business. It was about
About
me. It was about God.
yeah,
My relationship with
male and
God.
females.
Yeah,
And Adam and Eve, of course.
yeah.
Coming back to you,
No.
71-year-old?
No,
No.
but I've got a joke about atheists.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why are atheists two-time losers?
I don't know why atheists are two times. What did you tell us?
Well, because if we're right, death is the end of life, and if we're wrong, we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
That wasn't it.
Pascal. That's
I'll
called
wait.
Pascal's
I'm
legend.
patient.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's an intellectual, this boy. He knows what it's all about. He's an intellectual. That's why he's got the cap.
Yeah.
A doctorate of comedy.
So,
That's what a doctor of comedy.
Look, I've got a joke, but most of you won't get it, but I'll tell you.
okay.
Because this is an original Joe Toscano joke.
Oh, okay.
Look, I've been
God
a
almighty.
paraplegic and quadriplegic doctor for over 40 years. All right, 45 years almost. And for the last 40 years, I've been conducting a home visiting service for people mainly with quadriplegia. Right, it gets pretty lonely in the car. You know, you switch on the ABC and it's crap. Occasionally a good program, Radio National. You go into the corporate-owned media.
You can't get 3CR in the car.
I can get 3CR, but most of it's crap too. But we won't go. I don't listen to 3CR. I don't listen. I don't want to be educated. I don't want to be educated. Can I tell my joke?
Got the journalist.
It's all music. That's the trouble. It's all music. Yeah, like that bloke. Music matters. Who cares about music? Who cares? All right.
Robbie thought one like that.
Oh, I don't care.
Angelina one like
Oh,
that.
who cares
I
about
do.
bloody music? Oh, you can all go home. You're not going to hear my joke about God then. All right, so I'm talking.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Security. Head must be thrown out.
Hey! Helchild is a renowned comic performance poet, visual artist and satirical comedian from West Australia. We forgive you for coming from West Australia. And tonight, they are performing. They are performing an experimental new character who is a cross between Batman's Joker. Excuse me, man.
I am.
I've got a birth certificate. Unlike you and Ronald McDonald. I mean, you're an immigrant from somewhere. Please give it up for McJoker. Hey!
Escape the insanity of the world! Go mad! War! Murdoch Media! Rosa Parks! Kicked off the black civil rights movement, didn't she? By refusing to give up her seat for a white man. Oh, that was against the law. But imagine today, what would it be like if Murdoch Media had their say about Rosa Parks? Oh, let's see what the headlines have to say, shall we? Can't even read my own writing. Here we go. Time-wasting black woman stops bus. Passengers delayed for over 10 minutes as black female protester refuses to give up her seat for a man who is white. The woman had clearly broken laws, state laws, and was eventually arrested. Politicians have condemned the stunt as an attention-seeking racist attack on white privileges.
Yes. Disgusting.
White male privileges. Ooh, but wait, there's more. There was a headline just the other day. What did it say? Where are we? Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's good.
Can't even read my own writing. Oh, fuck. Sorry.
No hurry.
Here we go.
No hurry.
You don't have to apologise.
No.
Ah! Morning mayhem on Melbourne roads. Climate protesters block traffic.
Oh, shame.
That's outrageous.
Shame!
That's
Get a job, get a job.
Go home.
Oh, they claim they were stopping traffic to stop the planet from being destroyed. How inconsiderate! We've got jobs to do. We've got workers to exploit. We've got coal mines to dig. We've got rivers to pollute and toxic waste to spill everywhere, don't we?
Yeah.
We don't have time. We don't have time to save the planet. Oh, but there's more headlines, isn't there? Here we go. Where is it? Aboriginal bikie queen stops police pride float. Delays revelers for over 3 minutes.
Shame!
Shame! Oh! I mean, it's awful, isn't it? The word police and pride floater are in the same sentence. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? Please explain.
Please explain.
That's what it is.
Insiders claim it was a protest against police brutality to gays, trans, and Aboriginal people, and to deaths in custody. Deaths in custody, my God! She was booed and banned from the festival, and so she should.
Yeah.
We don't have time for human rights, do we? We've got parties to do. We've got cocks to suck and
That's below the belt, that one.
We don't have time for human rights, not even our own.
Never.
No, but don't get me wrong.
Sacrifice too great.
Don't get me wrong. There is a place in my heart, and there is a place here for protest, isn't there?
No!
Yes, there is. There is. It's a very special place, and it's called the Nullarbor Desert. Yes. Why, it's perfect. All you protesters can go there. There's lots of room, and there's an audience, isn't there? There's rabbits. There's cane toads with long legs that still haven't managed to cross the Nullarbor. There's camels with camel toes. There's elephants. There's probably even. Yes, no, they've all been poisoned.
No, the dingoes are all dead and shot.
There's probably a few native animals there too, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll have so much fun. But don't just take my word for it. Let's see what the police have to say, shall we?
Oh, do we have to listen, do we?
Let's see what the police have to say.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. Boys,
Excuse me, officer.
happy Pride.
what?
So, are people here enjoying themselves?
No.
Is there anybody here who's drunk more than 1.5
Yeah.
standard drinks?
No, yeah.
let's have a
Wait,
look.
Right,
I've
we've got a situation.
yeah.
Where's me phone?
I've had about
Got a
4.
situation
I
here.
reckon. And I plan to drive home. I love drinking and driving. Love it.
Situation.
The cold. Oh.
Go down to the
It's not
corporation.
illegal.
Oh, fuck.
It's not illegal.
Here we go.
Oh, great.
Bloody hero.
If you're under a...
Yeah, mate, we've got a situation here at the Footscray Hotel. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
people are enjoying themselves. No,
that's a lie.
no, they're lying too. Yep. Bring the breathalyzer. Bring the breathalyzer. And are there any people of colour here?
We hope so.
Yes, I think there is. Bring the paddy wagon, mate. Woo.
Whiskey.
All right. What about? Yeah, you're right. Substances. You illicit substances. Illicit substances.
I haven't even started yet, sweetheart. You're right.
She's definitely on something. Bring the sniffer dogs.
Yeah, we need a padded dog.
And don't forget the bum gloves.
Oh,
That's
one for me.
Chaos takes no sides. It simply revels in its own chaos. Bye-bye.
This is Mr. Dutton's new personal assistant. Not his pneumatic tyre. His personal assistant. She is trying to make him electable.
Oh, don't bother.
He has to have a face transplant and he just won't agree with it.
I think a mask could do it.
Now, Kerry is a limmerist of great renown.
Yes.
And I didn't bring any.
Who gives a fuck?
Okay.
Tell them from your mind.
Alright.
You've got lots of limericks.
Yeah.
Please.
Can I tell them a big story first?
You can tell them whatever you like here.
Yeah, tell us a story.
Well,
The stage is yours.
alright guys, look, what happened when I was stuck in COVID was that I was sitting there and it was the first time in my whole life I got a chance to actually sit there and see what they were doing to us. I knew we were being shafted, but I just didn't exactly know where it was coming from. So when I was sitting there absolutely stopped, I started to see the stupid that was going on all around us. And I was making myself laugh. So I called it comedic masturbation. But I wanted to share it with everybody. So I decided to start ringing up 3CR just to have a little bit of fun with everything. And anyway, along the line, one of my favourite stories has actually got nothing whatsoever to do with politics. It's just a little story about a job I once did, working in a piggery.
Oh no, I've got to go. Sorry, I can't stay. Let me know.
You do not know what you're leaving. First of all, my job title was cock steerer.
No, this one.
Yes. Because the pigs were so big, you might all think that they do it like this, right? But pigs don't do it like that. Do you know what a pig dick looks like? Anybody? Okay, I'm going to enlighten. It looks like a corkscrew. And it's kind of like pneumatic. So instead of doing that, so you could see them doing that, you've got to watch their butthole, because as it's going in and out, it does this. And you have to watch and wait. Now what you have to do is you have to clamp them around the back end and reach around and feed her in. And you know what? Everybody knows you work at the piggery. Look, it doesn't matter how much you soak yourself and marinate and rub and scrub, because inevitably what happens when they finish their business, out comes this big blob of gel to leave it stuck in there. Oh, disgusting. So you end up smelling of ball blow everywhere you go. So when you say, I'm working at the piggery, people say, Yeah, I know. They're going to still smell you.
I just sweep them.
And I used to wear rings on every finger. And the guy in charge, whose name was Skunks, by the way, said to me, what about the rings? What about the rings? He said, oh, might hurt the pigs. And I said, nobody else has ever complained. You let me get away with it. But that is my pig story. And I've also got another funny one about one time when I was doing a demonstration at the exhibition buildings. And
What type of demonstration?
well, it was an expo, home expo. Okay?
Yeah, just clear it up.
Okay, so what we were going to do is sell, the idea was to sell a chemical for your spa. And what we'd worked out was that we could use a great big cut out swimming pool filter, but we needed a missionary in the pot. So my boss sent me off down to Elizabeth Street. You could used to be able to park next to it as well. And I had to go into the sex shop and I ordered a big jondal. So I come out with my big jondal and we're getting him ready. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know they had lips like that. Like so, we were trying to cover his lips up. But where you blew him up was right at the back, right in his back. And so it was a bit tricky. And there was a guy there who had an air compressor. So he was going around telling everyone who needed their things blown up, and I went, oh, pretty right. So he's all folded up, right, because he's been in the box. And so I put him down, and the next minute he goes, and the guy goes, what the friggin' hell are you selling on your stand? Anyway, so we had him in the pot, and I had to put a scarf around him. Some people who were wandering around the exhibition buildings knew stuff, because they recognised him, I could tell. And then there'd be a little bit over there. He had an 8-inch attachment too, by the way, which went home with my boss's wife and we never saw it. But the trouble was he had a slow leak. And in the morning, he'd hang over the cauldron with the sign saying, when you're up to your neck in hot water, you can rely on this chemical, right? Anyway, so he's down like this. So, I get him out, throw him down on his face, because he was in the back where he gave him a quick blow, like this, and the guy who blew him up the first time goes, oh my God, she's going down on the doll. And I said, no, he's going down on me.
Very good, very good. I'll finish my quadriplegic joke and that'll be it. What a life, what a life. What a life, Kerry. Helchild. She needs to be in your act. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's good. Right, I'm bored, right? Driving the car, not listening to the music programs on 3CR because they're boring. Just ask that man there, Joe M. They're boring.
I'm a bit angry with you.
Thank you, thank you. They're boring. Music's all boring. All right, sucked in. All right. So here I am. I start talking to God.
Ah, the God story.
Yeah, I start talking to God.
Yeah.
Lynn's gone, so.
Where's
Carolyn?
Carolyn?
She's.
The God story's coming, Carolyn. What? The God story.
So,
Remember the God story?
so,
Not the God story, the God story.
yeah. So, I'm talking to God, right? And then one day,
should have
One day,
stayed.
I could not believe it.
Oh, okay.
She answered me back. She said, "Hello, Joe." And I said,
Oh, what?
"Hello,
The
God."
goddess.
Yeah, God's a woman, we all know
Could
that.
not be, or I wouldn't be in such a shit mess.
Yeah, it's up there.
No, God's a woman. They don't intervene. We've got free choice. That's the way it goes. You know the rain is God's tears for us because we fucked it up. Well, let's get back to the story, right?
That's God's peak.
Yes. No, it's God's tears for humanity. God's tears for humanity, the rain. That's why we're getting more and more. Well, I'm talking to God and she's talking to me and we develop a relationship, you know? And I'm going around seeing quadriplegic patients and she's chatting to me in between patients and sometimes she's busy, you know, listening to music on 3CR, you know? But, you know, it's like this. And then one day she says, "Joe," she says, "Joe," no, not you, me, right, Joe. She says, "Joe,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you. For 40 plus years you've been wandering in the wilderness. You're the only doctor I know's never cured a patient." He's right. You can't cure quadriplegia. There's no cure for it. Although if you go on the internet, you can find 600 clinics around the world that will charge you between $50,000 to $120,000 for a cure. Yeah, no cure, no cure. I can tell you stories about that. And she says, "I'm going to do you a favour, Joe." I said, "Oh, that's very kind of you, God." And I said, "What?" She says, "Joe, I'm going to give every quadriplegic patient of yours 2 free tickets to heaven. 2 free tickets to heaven. Because their life has been hell on earth. 2 free tickets to heaven." And I said, "Thank you, God." She says, "Yes, Joe, look, I've never intervened. I've let the human race destroy each other. Pedophilia, incest, murder, robbery, torture. I let them enjoy themselves, you know? But I'm going to intervene because your patient's life's hell on earth." I said, "Thank you, God." And about an hour later, I've been thinking about this. I'm thinking, "God," she says, "Yes, Joe, why do they need 2 free tickets to heaven?" Exactly. And she said, "Joe, I thought you'd know. They'll need one for their carer." Boom, boom.
Did you expect more?
Did you get the joke?
Yeah, but what about the third? No, I didn't get it.
It's a companion card, isn't it?
No. Even in heaven, there is no cure for quadriplegia.
Oh, I get it. No.
That's why they need 2 free tickets to heaven. I knew you wouldn't get it.
I want to hear the joke about
Oh my God, is that the
Adam
time?
and Eve joke.
I've forgotten.
I'm not going home till I hear it.
I've forgotten about it.
You told me.
Did I? Well, you tell
I've got
me.
a great joke
About
that
Adam and
nobody else would tell because it's about binary or male, female, something like God.
You know.
Got it?
You know.
Got it?
No, I don't know if this is the one, but it's another joke.
Okay. I'll let you know
Yeah.
if it's the one.
You know, it won't be the joke, but it's another one. It reminded me. You know that everybody reads their holy books in the way they want to read. You know, we're always looking for little. We're always looking for little clues, and I like to look at the 10 Commandments.
Really?
And one of the commandments it says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife
Here we
and
go.
oxen."
This is it.
Right?
Ass. Her name is Ass.
Is it ass?
Well, it depends which.
Oxen.
Which wife?
Right, and I thought
That is Ass.
this is
This is it.
a section in the Bible which can be used to justify
Here
homosexuality.
we go. This
Because it doesn't say about not coveting thy neighbour's husband.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It's not very funny, but I've told
I
you.
love it.
It does say that those who lie with a man and a woman shall be stoned at the city gates. That's in another passage.
I love it.
Oh, Lot's wife. How about the joke about Lot's wife?
I love that joke.
You know Lot's wife? The Old Testament is wonderful. Lot's wife
Turns into salt.
turns into salt. Poor old Lot. How did he escape out of the Sodom and Gomorrah? They're leaving. Clap. That's Pasquale and Mandy the librarian.
I didn't know that was so slowly.
Yeah, they're figures. They're really, they're important figures. They're important figures. Yeah, look, that's enough. That's enough. This is the first and last time I'm doing this. Obviously, Helchild and Kerry will be doing this. But it's something I wanted to do. The next thing I'm going to do in the next few months is a reading of a play I wrote about Francis Fantine. So that's something I'm going to do, yeah. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And the 21st of June, it's we're doing a presentation on Eureka.
Eureka. Thanks, guys.
Okay, that's it.